welcome to today's episode of Your Talk Time with Lindsy Bivens
and Sonjia Pelton-Sam, a show that brings together real people with real issues and comes up with real winning strategies and solutions.
And today we are so excited. We have the lovely in orange, Miss Lakeisha Woodard. Welcome.
Hey ladies, how are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yes, we are excited to have you. So let's jump right in. Please do tell us more about yourself.
Sure. My name is Lakeisha Woodard, and I am your sister coach and also the founder of A Sister's Truth. And through one-on-one coaching, I teach women how to use self-awareness as a tool to live a purpose-driven life. Mm-hmm. And as a sister coach, I share my journey, my personal experiences with my sister clients. Mm-hmm. And I share my journey in order to create that sisterhood with my clients so they can share with me some of the deepest, darkest fears. Because if I'm going to help you to embrace your purpose, we're going to have to talk about those fears. Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, who are you most comfortable with? Mm-hmm. Your sister, right? Mm-hmm. And it's our common life experiences that links us together. So even though we're not blood sisters, we definitely are sisters.
Yes.
So through my coaching, my book, 31 Days of Truth, Manifest Your Passion, Power, Perseverance, online courses and classes, I teach women and a few good men how to use self-awareness.
So
awesome.
tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Oh, wow. How did I get started? Actually, it started with a conversation with a girlfriend of mine. Mm-hmm. I made a comment to her saying, you know what, I'm always able to sit down and brainstorm ideas and come up with plans for everybody else, but I have no idea what it is I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I've always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know exactly what. I had a photography business several years ago, and that was short-lived because I realized I like being in front of the camera as opposed to behind the camera. So it was back to the drawing board. And she told me, she said, you know, Keisha, you have a lot of knowledge, and you're always willing to share with other people. You need to figure out a way to track how you're making a difference in other people's lives and figure out a way to package that and sell it. And I was like, what? Package that and sell it? That was so foreign to me. So the next thing I did was enrolled into Google University. Tuition is free, just in case you guys didn't know. Yes. Tuition is free, and they accept everyone. I just started Googling. I don't even remember what I was Googling, you guys. And next thing I know, I ran across Lisa Nichols and Tony Robbins and figure out what a life coach was. Yes. And was like, oh wow, this is actually something that I can possibly, do. Right. And also doing my research, I ran across the Earn More Money Challenge. Okay. And the reason why I did this challenge is a free 25-day challenge. The reason why I chose to do this challenge because she was teaching you, she has in Patrice Washington, was teaching you how to use your purpose to make money, to earn more money. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something purposeful. Yes. So it wasn't until I did that challenge that A Sister's Truth started off as a blog and then eventually turned into a business. Yeah, so that's how we got started.
All right.
So I love this. This is what I know about Miss Lakeisha. She is like sister friend, right? Everybody's a sister friend, and I love that about you. It's a little, just small, subtle touch, but it absolutely, just makes it easy to connect with you.
Oh, thank you so much. That means that it's working. Because that's my brand. Because I think that we can do so much together as opposed to separate. And I feel like even though our journeys are different, there's a lot of similarities. Yes. So why not share what it is that we're going through and how we got through it to motivate and inspire and uplift the next sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really cool. So I know you have a show. So tell us about your show. Being in front of the camera. Tell us more about your show.
The name of my show is Living Her Truth. And you can find it on Facebook. And so Living Her Truth is just me getting together with other sister friends to have a genuine, transparent conversation about what it looks like and what it means to live your truth. Because I know, we hear that a lot, live your truth, right? But what exactly does that mean? Right? What does that look like? And so this is, my opportunity to have a conversation with other women because with me and my journey, I'm a survivor of sexual abuse. I was sexually abused for 8 years. Wow. So through my coaching, I share that a lot. I talk a lot about how I was able to transition from victim to survivor of sexual abuse. But I know that that's not everyone's story, right? So with Living Her Truth, I have the opportunity to bring on other ladies to talk about their stories, right? Because we can definitely learn from each other. You know, the Bible says there's nothing new up under the sun, and I believe that includes the devil's tactics to kill, steal, and destroy our joy.
Yes.
So whatever he's tried to use on me, he's going to try to use on you. And if I survived it, then guess what? You can too. But how is my sister going to know that if we're not talking about it and sharing it, right? And that's what we should do. And so with Living Her Truth, I have the opportunity to actually do that.
So on Facebook, the Facebook page is Living Her Truth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And season 2, I just started season 2. Well, it's going to air tomorrow, and I'm super excited about that. May 6th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And man, I can't even believe that I'm in season 2. It's mind-boggling. I'm excited.
So Lindsay was on season 1, right?
Yes.
And I'm getting ready to be on season 2, so I'm excited also.
I'm super excited. You guys definitely have to check out the episode with Lindsay because we had a good time.
We did.
That was a great discussion. It was a great discussion.
We did. And I think you have a way of pulling good things out of people.
Oh, thank you.
Do, and I don't say that just to rub, pat you on the back, as my sister friend.
Yeah.
But I say that because, I've been interviewed by other people, and you have a warmth about you. You do. You really have a genuineness and authentic, way that you interact with people that makes it comfortable. So I think we had a good conversation because you're just an awesome person.
Man, thank you so much for letting me know that because, the entrepreneurial journey is tough. Yeah. And it can be rough sometimes, especially when you're the only person in your clique who's an entrepreneur. You don't really have anybody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So getting feedback like that really helps out. So I appreciate you for doing that. And, we should share compliments more often.
Yes.
And check on our friends who are entrepreneurs because we never know what it is that they're going through.
So I want to just, you touched on, you're the only one in your group of friends that's an entrepreneur, excuse me. I want to hear something about your journey as an entrepreneur, kind of some of those rough places or, pivotal moments in your journey as an entrepreneur.
Oh, wow. Girlfriend,
Loaded.
where you want me to start? Comparison is the biggest thing. Let me just go ahead and be honest and transparent. Just like a few weeks ago, I was just so down and was doubting myself and the vision that God has given me because I'm comparing myself to everybody else.
Yes.
You guys see me, those who follow me see me on live all the time, and they automatically assume that I have it all together. Yes. And that's not really necessarily the case, even though I share my experiences. So when I see, other friends out there, doing their business and they doing all these amazing things, I tend to look at myself like, damn, maybe I need to work a little harder and be a little faster. Yeah. So dealing with, that comparison, they say comparison is a thief of joy. So
it is.
I'm constantly working on that in order to just stay focused on what it is that I'm doing. Because even though I'm moving slowly, that's okay.
Yes.
The point is that I'm moving, and I had to remind myself of that all the time. My husband tells me all the time that I'm like my worst critic.
We all are.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with him on that because I know my capabilities, and if I fall short of my own expectations, I could be a little hard on myself. But thankfully, I have the type of husband who will remind me that I just moved the mountain the day before. And so if I did it once, I can do it again.
But I like to talk about this comparison thing because with social media today, it is so easy to stop and compare ourselves to other people, right? To compare our journey, to compare our kids, to compare our marriages, to compare our lives. And we should see with reality TV show that everything that glitters is not gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Because we see people like they have the perfect marriage or this preacher, they have the perfect this. And then you see them on reality TV show and later on they getting divorced.
Right.
Or when we see behind the scenes, they have all these problems because they are just people. Some of them were with people with more money, and some of them still have more money and more problems, right? But we can't compare ourselves. We can't compare our looks. We can't compare the flavor of our styles, of how we show up to other people. We just have to show up as us and in our space, and like you say, in our sister truth.
Right. And it starts with gratitude. We have to be grateful for what we have, in the moment. And that's something that I have to remind myself of, too.
Yes.
Because what I've prayed for, I'm blessed enough that God has given it to me. So if somebody's on social media showing me their house, I have to remind myself, I prayed for this house. God gave me everything that I wanted. in this house. So why am I getting upset?
Yeah.
Because her house is bigger. That ain't what I asked for.
And this is another thing. We don't know the journey of getting that house.
Absolutely.
I've seen people that they've lost a child and insurance checks got them a house. You don't want that journey.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You see people and they're married to somebody with a whole lot of money, but behind the scenes it's miserable. You don't want that house.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just want what God has for you, and it is enough. A bigger house doesn't make you a bigger person.
That's right.
Yes.
Right? And everything
right.
I tell people, my biggest thing is saying good success. Our success is not good success.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? And that's really living in your truth. And I had to get over it my own self.
Yeah.
I had to get over comparing to other people, comparing myself with other people, my life with other people.
It's
Right?
it's
Because
a,
it's enough.
it's a daily battle. That's something we have to work on every single day. It's a life journey, because something's gonna always come up. You know, I'm the person, you know, that people come to for strength and confidence. People ask me that all the time, and it's just like I work on my mindset every day.
Every day.
Yes.
Every day.
I work on it every day. I'm reading something positive.
Yes.
If it's a Bible plan, Stephen Furtick, you know, I love his book Unqualified. That's like the perfect book for everybody to listen to if you have Audible, you know, because he just talks about how even though you may seem unqualified, you're actually qualified to do God's work.
Yes.
So, and that's what we have to remind ourselves on a daily basis.
I think sometimes we are, again, just going back to the urge to compare, right? You know, that there's something going on within us, right? We've been wired along the way to look outside of ourselves, to verify ourselves or to affirm ourselves. Like, how do we look compared to this person, or how do we show up compared to this person? Maybe there's not enough, we're not doing enough as a community to train up kind of the generation coming behind us, and you know, our children and things like that, or even each other, you know? Maybe we're not doing enough in our relationships to say, you know what, Lakeisha, you awesome, girl. You know, you awesome, you know? Giving the confidence, you know, boosting the confidence by complimenting each other, by highlighting. And that's something I noticed just in our community. A lot of times you don't see people complimenting each other a whole lot, you know? Like, you know, maybe there's this unspoken stigma that, you know, we can't see the next person, you know, be great, or we can't see the next person, you know, shine in their light, and that's something that can stand to change. And also, I don't think that we know how to take a compliment either, because I had to catch myself when somebody says, "Girl, you look good in that." Oh, it's, "Girl, you know, I feel fat today. I'm bloated." Yes.
How about thank you? I appreciate that. Thank you. So we have to know how to accept the compliment as well as give it as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Unqualified, Stephen Furtick. Oh my goodness, that really blessed me. It blessed me, just the thought of it, because, you know, when you remember who you belong to. Like you don't get caught up in the comparison then, you know, like you don't have a need to get caught up in that. When you remember kind of whose you are, you can see somebody shine and just be like, you know what, God bless them. You know, Lord, if you did it for them, you can do it for me. You know, just have that kind of attitude and stance in life that when you see other people winning, that you can stand to champion for them, because if God is in the blessing business over there, then it's just a matter of time until he come around my corner.
That's called get a little closer to him.
Yes.
Because it's overflowing the blessings. You want the blessings to fall on you.
Yes, I like it.
I've also found that that does help to have some more entrepreneur friends, or just people in your circle, and people on your page that'll tell you the real journey.
Oh
You know, like I got Lindsy, I have entrepreneur friends, and they tell me about the journey. And once you behind the scenes of the journey, trust me, you will not get jealous. You will not envy any of that. Okay? Any of that. That's what I do know. I've been behind the scenes of enough to know, hey, I'm happy where I am. And I'm moving forward. And also just knowing the amount of time it takes.
Yes.
You know, people don't know your story. Like, you got started at this time just to get where you are now. Right? And so that's what I've learned. This is a timing thing. It's in the timing of God.
Yeah.
Right? It's the season. When your season is right, he's going to launch you forward. And if you go out too fast, you'll fall back. And you don't want that. You want to be right on time.
Yes.
Right? Accomplishing everything in its timing. That's one of the things I've learned.
Yeah.
in this journey.
It's timing, and it's also digging deep to and dealing with unresolved hurting issues. You know, that's something else I like to, talk about. That's the reason why I share my journey of transitioning from victim to survivor of sexual abuse, because people have to understand, like, my journey started in college, when I went through therapy, because 8 years of sexual abuse, my innocence was robbed from me at 8 years old. So when I left the house to go off to school, I had no idea who Lakeisha Smith was, and I had to find out who she was. And so it took me becoming more self-aware. That's the reason why I focus on self-awareness, because self-awareness helped me with that transition, and also learning who I was. That also helped me to establish a relationship, or get on a path of establishing a relationship with God. Because in order for me to know who I am, I have to know who He is. So are you willing to dig deep and and get the healing from that unresolved hurt that's possibly affecting your decisions and how you look at yourself and the way that you're looking at other people, and not being satisfied, not being able to say or be grateful for what it is that you have? And people don't want to do that.
Now, it's interesting that you said about digging deep, and we just talked about jumping in too soon and getting big. And because we just had this big issue, and we had a John Gray issue, which we all love. But he spoke about not getting over those unresolved issues, not digging deep, not getting help, not getting counseling. And us, with our color, we don't like counseling, and we don't like help. And we don't like going in and finding out the truth and talking about it and getting over it. And healing from the past so that you don't take it into your future when you get great. And then you have to drop down here and raise it back up, right? So we have to deal with these things. And that's what I love about the Sisters Truth. It's about digging deep and dealing with the issues, because we are rising up. We're a group of women, and today women are on the rise, and our men too. Right? And we have to heal these hurts and these pains and get over them, because we can't take this mess to the top, y'all. We're not taking this to the top. We're handling it on this level, right? And we're gonna get it, and we're gonna drop it so we can rise. We can rise like balloons. We can rise up high, and we don't have those weights on us holding us back.
Exactly. And it's okay to deal with the hurt, because we pull strength from that. And we also have to realize that whatever it is that you have gone through, somebody else has gone through it too. So don't be ashamed of it. Depending on what it is, people feel really shameful. Me, I felt really shameful. Like, I had to learn how to love myself in my own skin, and that took time. I had to actually talk about it and address it, and people don't want to talk about it, especially if you have grown and you've reached some level of success and you think that you're functioning, but are you really functioning?
Not
are you
optimally.
really right? Are you really operating at your full potential? Maybe not, because that hurt is still there, and even though you don't see it affecting you on a day-to-day, actually it really is. It really is.
And especially we have a generation of older people. And so sometimes they hinder us.
Man,
I talked about something on social media. My mama said my auntie told her what I said that happened in my past. She said, I told her that was not the truth. Like, why are you talking about that? Because they don't know how to live in the truth. And then it hinders us. I think that was Tyler Perry, and he talked about some things he couldn't talk about, when his mom was still alive, because it would hurt her. Not really him. It would heal him. It would heal him. But still hurt her, because she didn't want to deal with it. And so we can't hold on to things that's hurting us just to satisfy other people, because they need to deal with it too. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to learn to deal with these issues as a family and as a whole.
As a community, more conversation. We just have to have more dialogue like we're having now, like you have on your show. We have to have more dialogue about the things that are affecting us, the things that have happened to us. And while you were speaking, something came to mind, just in reference to what that does for us, functioning, right? And you have this, you reach the level, some level of success, and you're functioning, and then there's this shame attached to it. But I think it would be easier for more dialogue to happen, right? if we continue to have dialogue. I think people who are in that, the person you describe who's reached some level of success and who feels the shame connected to what happened to them, you know, a lot of times they've constructed in their minds what life would look like if they speak up or speak out, you know. They've imagined this breakdown or this, you know, a falling away of their relationships, right? They're imagining, you know, some dreadful end if they start speaking their truth. But I think that would begin to dissipate the more we talk, the more conversations we have.
I 100% agree, because on my journey, I know how it feels to not say anything.
Yeah.
Because that's why it went on for so long. And I also know, you know, what happens once I opened up my mouth.
Yes.
That's why I share my experience and I share my journey, because I want people to know that there is a light on the other side.
Yeah.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. You can get past it. You can heal from it and move on, but you have to speak up. You have to get the help that you need, you know, in order to move forward. So it's so important that we share that and be open, you know, about the struggles, so we can inspire and motivate someone else to, you know, go and get the help that they need, because you don't know what people are dealing with behind closed doors. You know, that's why when people commit suicide, people are surprised.
Yes.
Like, dang, really? I never knew that was going on, because people just don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. So
And that's heartbreaking.
It is.
You have cases like that. People who seem to have everything together, but really they're just holding it together.
Barely.
Barely, right?
Yeah.
And then it breaks, and then there's tragedy for a lot of people.
And we see it with celebrities all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
You know, I always like to talk about people like Kate Spade. She had the biggest deal of her life.
Everybody was
Oh my
looking up to
goodness.
her as an
Yes,
entrepreneur.
that's a
Like,
big
I
deal.
wanna
Like, I'm
be
thinking,
like
if I had
Kate
that kind of
Spade.
deal, I'd still
Right.
be happy. Like, I don't care what was going on. But you can't say
Right.
that because you don't really know the behind the scenes of that, right? And that comes with not being able to share with people and not being able to deal with it. So it's not a money issue. It's a mindset issue.
It is.
Right? And so you really have to be able to deal with all of these things. And so you do a lot with affirmations. So I love those too. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So every morning on Instagram, I have a morning mantra that I say every morning to just start my day. You know, in what year are we in? 2019. Okay. So it's in 2017, I started meditating, and I really, realized how much it really affected my day in a positive way. Just to sit down for like 5 or 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time. 5 or 10 minutes and just meditate and just sit in silence, you know? And so that naturally, organically morphed into a mantra. I just got on Instagram one day and did a morning mantra and did it for like, I think 3 days and didn't do it anymore. And then somebody was like, hey, you didn't do your morning mantra this morning. You know, I do it with you every morning. I'm like, oh my God, really? So I started doing it. I just think that if we wake up, you know, and say something positive, it sets the tone for the day.
Yes.
You know, and it doesn't have to be just in the morning. You can say it throughout the day. And it's whatever, you know, it is for you. You know, I have a saying that I always say that I am enough and my truth is beautiful.
Yes.
You know, I have T-shirts that say that as well, because that's my secret way of getting you to read it and reciting it to yourself.
Yes.
You know, but it could be something as simple as I am enough.
Yeah.
You know, and just say it as often as you need to, as a consistent and daily reminder.
Oh yes, I wake up too, and I wake up and I make sure that I pray and that I'm grateful and I'm thankful, and then I have my daily declaration.
There you go.
Right, about how my day is gonna run great and how it's gonna run smooth and things like that. And do you have bumps in the road? Yes, but you can always go back and remember how you started your day.
Yes.
Right, and so yes, I do. I believe in that.
It does.
Yes.
So tell us what you have kind of coming up in the near future. I know we're just starting season 2. Separate from your show, any other really big things coming up?
Yeah, so be on the lookout in the next couple of months for my Master Life class that's going to be online. It's called Strategize Your Vision. I think the one thing that's, you know, missing from our vision is strategy, right? We have, you know, our visions and hopefully they're aligned with our purpose, but how are we going to make that vision come to life? So I focus on the strategy and it's based off of self-awareness. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Join my email list so you can be the first to find out about it.
And give them your information about your email list.
Oh, yeah, so you can visit my website at www.asisterstruth.com. You can find me across social media at A Sister's Truth as well. And YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, A Sister's Truth.
Awesome. Good job on branding.
Yeah.
And since we have a little bit more time, so do you have any kids?
No.
But
I
you
don't
are
have any-
married.
I am.
So let's just talk. Are you still working full time? So let's talk about working full time, still being an entrepreneur, and being married. How do you juggle all of that?
I just continue to just be me. Thankfully, I have a husband that's, you know, very understanding and who's super, super supportive. He's tell me all the time that, Keisha, if you say we go into the move, I'm going to put my spacesuit on Leeway. Because he was like, because I know. Right, so I tells me. Because I know that it's going to happen. And he tells me all the time that I inspired him to be a better man just by me being me. So just having that support is a little easier for me to just wake up and just do what it is that God has ordained me to do. You know, I'm lucky enough where, you know, my silent investor is what I call the corporate gig. You know, I have the flexibility where you know I can do both. Not everybody has that, and I do understand that. You know, but I have the flexibility where I can do both. And honestly, yes, this is truth. It's a lot of work, but I just love what I do so much that it doesn't seem like work. So, you know, staying up late and working on the business is really not a big thing for me. You know, it's so crazy because people would ask me, girl, have you seen Insecure? No, I haven't seen that episode.
I know.
But I dropped the book though. I just published my book. You know, so it's all about, you know, priorities, you know, and I juggle with it every day. So when it's time for family time, I make sure that I'm 100% present with family. You know, if there's a opportunity to get with family, I make sure that I'm always, you know, going and traveling and being with family because I don't have a lot of family here in Texas. You know, and sometimes I think my husband like, where you getting all this money from? Because you always traveling. But hey, you know, it's that creating that harmony between life and business. Because I know, like for instance, when Living Her Truth starts, like I'm gonna be ghost for a minute, you know, because I'm gonna be, you know, doing shows and things like that. So when it's family time, I'm 100% present as I can be, so that way I can, you know, do both and create that harmony between life and business.
And that's balance. That's what you call balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we are kind of wrapping up. It's been so, you know, just a wonderful time chatting with you. Awesome time hearing about all the wonderful things you have coming down the pipeline. So A Sister's Truth. Again, guys, you want to go to asisterstruth.com and across social media,
A Sister's
YouTube.
Truth.
Yes, she is amazing.
Thank you.
I had the privilege of being interviewed by her and just coming to know and meet Lakeisha, and it's been phenomenal knowing her. So you want to get to know Miss Lakeisha.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, and this is the end of your Talk Time with Sonjia Pelton-Sam and
Lindsy Bivens.
Make sure that you check us out and you follow us on our Facebook page at Your
Talk
Talk
Time.
Time. And until the next time,